Well, hi, everybody. This is Saturday, July 29th. We're at the Network Marketing Skills. And if you're watching it later on recorded, get a pen and pencil. We've got some great stuff for you. And we want to thank everybody for being here, for joining us. And what would I say? The Network Marketing Skills, we are offering them because so many of us didn't get Network Marketing 101 in college. For many people, their companies don't teach it. And so if you've been with us this is now the 5th week, we really appreciate it. And as we start today, just a little reminder, this whole thing, you guys, is a team sport. It really isn't you by yourself. And I think over time you start to understand that. And why we wanted to really bring these trainings together week by week is because not only are you learning, and we all are learning, myself included for sure, but you start needing to lead. And that we want to give you basics that you can bring to your teams. But mostly it's thinking differently about this because this isn't a job. It's not a corporation. It's not a normal business. Like, let's say at a small business, a salon or a nail studio, it's totally different, right? So we want to just keep building our skills and our team and our community. So if you have not been with us for all 4 weeks prior, we have recordings. They are wonderfully archived by Julian Canute on youtube.com and then / the @ and then activate the stem cells. And take a picture of this slide if you'd like. I would really encourage you, if you've got new brand partners coming on board, have them start with Network Marketing Overview. It really talks about what the network marketing industry is, how exciting it is, all the opportunities, what it's not, and there's a really fun video at the end. We went into critical network marketing skills. There's 2 really critical skills before you know anything. And the video that we have in that, I really recommend you click over and watch the full video. Presenting X39, again, a different way to look at how you should be talking about the whole way you present X39 compared to a deep dive and all the details. Last week, we did a deep dive on Fortune as the follow-up. If you've been tracking the 331 system, you know week 2 is about follow-up. Well, here we go even deeper, and I put a little clip of the video of Eric Worre that we shared in last week's training, where he does this really interesting kind of clock face circle that will really help you understand where people aren't when you talk to them or where they are. So again, we really highly recommend you go back, and even if you were with us, watch them again. So today, welcome to Building Depth. If you've been tracking with us, this is now the deeper dive, and we're going to probably have a couple levels of this coming up, because definitely depth is our goal as you're working with your team. So we're going to stop and probably have a pretty good discussion here, but go to the left side first. Think about when they build buildings. Even if you're starting with a house, you start with the foundation. And, you'll see in cities, they'll put up all that screening around a site, and you're peering through the fence and you're going, when will the building ever show up? Well, they often might even spend a year putting in the foundation, maybe 2 years. And then all of a sudden you'll turn around and look around, and all of a sudden there's 17, 18, 25 stories, and you go, wow, when did that come up? Because for us in network marketing, years 1 through 3, you're digging deep. You're not up on the high-rise penthouse in year 1. We're down in the foundation, you guys. We're building that foundation so you have a really strong business to grow from. So when people get frustrated, they're like, 6 months in, I'm not at the top. How come those other teams got to senior presidential in 4 months? Guess what? They had a team they brought, and years ago, they did this foundation. They had it built. So what is depth? So go ahead, Canute, take off on our definitions.
Thank you, Janet. So let me rephrase this a little bit. Depth, you talk about depth and people go, huh? Well, remember, you get paid in the second or in the last part of the compensation plan, you get paid on level 1, 2, and 3. So what does that mean? It means that you find a brand partner. Let's say I'm lucky enough to find Janet. Janet is lucky enough to find Julie, and Julie is lucky enough to find Barbara. The notion here is that the depth is actually finding new brand partners through my existing brand partners. So the fact that Janet found Julie, that is a beginning of a depth structure. If we take that one step further and we say, well, Julie found Barbara, now we're beginning to get moving. But me as the upline, I would like to speak with Barbara and find out who she knows and who she knows of in terms of how we can share and how we can move on and find new brand partners. If I'm the only one putting in brand partners, I'm never going to get depth, if that makes sense. Because the more brand partners we have that we can equip to go out and share this amazing product, you will get an enormous whoosh effect, I think I could call it, because of the leverage. Leverage is what makes this thing move. And just future cast for a second with me. Let's say you personally introduced over 90 days, let's say you introduce 40 people, 20 in the left team, 20 in the right team. And you now begin to work with these 20 people. And let's say 5 of them goes, yeah, I can probably find 20 each myself. And you find that once we can equip them, and the faster we can equip them to go out and show this amazing opportunity to people for health and for wealth, the faster you start getting momentum. And this is what Steve and Gina Merritt was so exceptionally good at, because they knew how to leverage. They knew how to connect and equip the people quickly. Makes sense, everybody? I hope it does. So a team of people, if we have a unity in what we're trying to do, is to remember what David Schmidt says. His vision is to get X39 into 1 billion homes. And if we can help people share this with their friends, families, and acquaintances that are having pain, chronic pain, are having a number of different medications, we have to learn to help each other to heal. We have to learn to share something that can make an absolutely amazing difference in people's lives. And when we do that, we get rewarded because we get to maximize the compensation plan. And that's really what this is all about. If you're in this, to build, to have a revenue stream come in, an alternative revenue stream coming in. I mean, as a point in case, I've been working with a guy now for 10 years. Good friend of mine. He was a contractor in the department where I worked. And somewhere at the beginning of July, apparently, he said something that upset someone. And it took 3 weeks. And he had actually left on his way home and gets the call saying, don't bother coming in on Monday. And he is on a significant 6-figure income. Now what do you do? So reality hit real hard on Friday night for me. It really hit. And how many others do you know that are in that situation? Or they've been asked to cut hours or work extra hours for no extra pay. That's why we're building it. We need to be able to maximize the compensation plan.
Thank you, Knut. And if I can also stop right under why build it when we talk about leverage, your efforts are multiplied across other people's time and talent and excitement and knowledge and networks, their networks and their efforts. Most people, when you tell them, oh, well, you can share this, they'll say, I don't have time. And so we want to stop here and really help drive this home. It's not about all of your time. It's not about 50% of your time. It's about a little time from a lot of people. Definitely some other people's talents, some other people's excitement, other people's network. It's a bit of effort across all of us. But the default is people are used to jobs, 40 hours, 50 hours. You know, Canute constantly gets pulled in with these big problems and they let someone go. Now who's going to take care of it, right? So I want to stop there and have you explain to people when you're finally a brand partner comes on board, you guys, we're not asking for 100 hours a week. We're saying, can you give me an hour a day? Half hour here, half hour there. And with your time, your talents to talk to people, the network you have, some of your effort, we're going to build across a number of us. Now, you know, look at the building site here in the picture. Is there one person in there trying to do that? No. You have people across different talents, different jobs are going on that job site, right? Different talents. Somebody's up there on the crane, lifting things up. Another guy, they're tying off rebar. It takes everybody, but it's all the different talents, a little bit of everybody's time. And I'd like you to understand it, and why you're here is we need you, you need us, we're all that team he's talking about. But you have to understand that we're multiplying and leveraging other people's offerings. And so call it out, because everybody thinks you want them to have another job, and that's not what we're talking about. So we're going to drill down on this slide. So to that point, network marketing is not about selling products. Yes. Do we sell products? Yes. But LifeWave network marketing is about a network that's sharing and caring. And so if you only just sell products, yeah, you can have some customers, and some people just care to do that. They don't want to build a team. I really respect that. That's okay. Sell the product, get X39 out there. But if you understand the power of leverage, we want you to be good at building a team. So Canute, let's drill down into this matrix here of this leverage system.
All right. So if the notion of building depth is to find new brand partners through your own personally introduced brand partners, then how do we equip people to quickly get out there and begin to duplicate what you have just done or what I have just done? Well, I would like you to imagine that the system that we have, the 3-3-1 system, if I use the analogy of a house, it's got 4 walls, it's got a floor, it's got a ceiling, and then there are a couple of essential things that it has inside of it. It will have a bathroom, it will have a restroom, it will have a kitchen, a living area, a couple of bedrooms, and maybe a number of different cupboards. But the notion here is that the house itself and the rooms therein that are common for virtually every single other building is the system. So if the system is now the 3-3-1 system, it's in place. It is there for us to use. How you choose to decorate your own home, what you hang on the walls, the colors and all that, that's entirely up to you. But the rooms are always of that kind of rooms, like bedroom, kitchen, bathroom, restroom, etc., etc. And those are the components of our system. In other words,
okay, you just went to the next slide, sir.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I don't have the slide preview here, so.
Okay. Well, we definitely want to get there.
Okay. So as you're building on, you find some people and you begin to find someone through them that now begins to build out. So if you are a brand new and you're full of enthusiasm, you find 3, 4, 5, 6, 10 people down your left team and your right team, and they catch your enthusiasm, they see what it's all about, they would like to have the patches paid for. Now you begin to get downlines of downlines. This starts rolling, this starts rolling, this starts rolling. Now, I would like you to envisage, I have as a dream that, first of all, I have 50 personals introduced. Now I have, through them, I have another 150, 200 people introduced. Through those, I have another, the numbers go up. But could you imagine that this week you had 5 people at the second level going out and showing this amazing business, sharing this business with their friends and their relatives, maybe over coffee, maybe over lunch. Imagine, fast forward the tape, at the end of 90 days, you might have 50 people on a daily basis having lunch. And go, I told you I had such a big problem with my back. I finally found something that helped me. Here, what have you heard about stem cells? What have you heard about the latest advances in stem cell technology? Let me show you. And you pull out your handset and you show them there and then. And we'll go through more in details on this, because this is where this thing is going to start rocking.
Thank you. And let me jump in. In the horizontal group of people, it says downline. You've got people that are silver brand partners, gold brand partners that really aren't ready to build a business. So we just picked out really 4 people across that horizontal who probably started sharing, right? But what happens when they share with 5 people? And then the second row down below them, they share with 5 people. Many people don't understand the power of this system, and that it's a little amount of people over time, growing and growing, sharing a little of their time with their network and this network. People, I think I hear in the team, get frustrated. Well, no one's doing anything. That's not true. They're consuming the product, and over time, hopefully they'll come in the 3-3-1 system. But honestly, most people who are successful in network marketing do the 3-3-1 system. They do it every day. They're not concerned with if everybody's a leader, did they get it or not? They're going to work maybe with those 4 or 5 people that do get it and keep going, because that depth is going to build. That's where you're getting leverage, and we're kind of hammering it because most people don't understand the leverage that comes because they've not seen it. So here's the difference. I'm up at the top and I was a consultant. I had been in companies for years. As an employee, I was stuck. I could only get the money I could get as my salary. I went out, started being a consultant. I made a whole lot more money, but the trouble there was I could only work so many hours, and I could only, honestly, probably handle 2 to 3 clients, and it was full out. I was working so much. I'm stuck again. I had no leverage. So, I'd have to be taking care of everything. And at the end, what did I get? Well, I made a nice, bunch of money, but it really didn't get me anywhere. And once I finally understood this system and said, oh my gosh, I can have a number of people, we can work together. Everybody contributes a little bit of time. They get good at this system. Look what we built then. So this isn't for everybody. But if you don't understand it, if you can't explain to people it's not a job, we're actually having fun with each other. You have a system. You're starting to, maybe your cousin introduces you to one guy who takes off. This is how it can go. So the tool we want to go through is about some of the components. So Knut, you started talking about this, so let me get you there.
Okay, thank you. So as I said, I'm sorry I jumped ahead a little bit, but the blueprint that we have is the 3-3-1 system. The architect is building the skyscraper or that block of apartments or whatever on the top left-hand screen. He would never start building without having a blueprint. We have a blueprint. It's the 3-3-1 system. We know there are some essentials in there, but for us, for this to grow in a predictable and a fast manner, let me ask you a question, and I think it's a rhetorical question, but I shall ask it anyway. If you were to introduce 100 people yourself, how long is that going to take you? Maybe
A long time.
a long time, yes. But if we could equip a brand partner who came in yesterday, and we have an example of that, Julie and I did that in-home in North Carolina last week. We had 12 people in the room and 5 signed up immediately, and we got 2 more coming. 3 of them say, yes, we'd like to have our patches paid for. So are we going to drag them through a 4-week training program for the 331 system with the basics and everything? Or are we going to just use their enthusiasm of the product, give them a flip book that they can have on their handset, and they can literally go out and have lunch with their girlfriends or with their husband or with their brother or their auntie, and simply sit down and say, you know, I had this problem with my shoulder, with my back, whatever. I came across something that finally could help me. I finally found something that has no medication, all of that yada, yada, yada. And all they do is to pull out their own personal mobile phone and they go, have a look at this, have a look at this, have a look at this. This is a 5 to 10 minute presentation. We'll talk a little bit more about it on the next slide. Do you have one up on top of there, Janet?
I do.
Yes. There is a step 3, there's a step 4 behind this. But now roll the tape forward, go 90 days into the future, and you suddenly have 20 people, 30 people, 100 people in your team that has come in over the last 90, 100 days or more. And they're all sitting out at lunch once a week, twice a week, 3 times a week. Building depth then becomes natural. It becomes not scary. Oh, I don't know what to say. You have the slides. Just talk to the text that's on the slides. Do not vomit information on top of them, please.
Okay, hold on.
Yep.
Let's go through that when we show them to them that way.
So
that way.
The steps that we're doing here is to build teams, build managers, build directors. Very few people can take a PowerPoint presentation, stand up in front of people and go and talk for an hour. Janet and I might be exceptions.
Yeah, they know that about us. Yeah. So here's the one thing. When I came aboard, Barbara came aboard, and we had no tools or anything, and we just started doing the Sunday nights, which, by the way, thank you. So many are still here and you understand the product. But we were telling the product story, right? And we did pretty well overall for not having much guidance. Well, now we've gone to the opportunity meetings where we're sharing a bit of the product and a lot more about the business. And now we're developing where you're going to see this flip book. It looks a whole lot like the opportunity meeting, but now it really is in your hands, you guys. And most of you have been with us a while. You can easily do this. So let's jump in here and talk about what we're calling the flip book. Okay. So it's basically a tool. It's slides, it's digital, or we can print it. It's your personal sharing, right? You can share anytime, anywhere with anyone. So Knut, walk them through it.
Thank you. As I said, I was listening. I'll go back and rewind the tape here for a second. You can tell how old I am. Rewind the tape, and we went to Tampa. I think it was in January or February this year. And Janet came across, and I handed her a spiral-bound little flip chart, like a little postcard size with 18, 20 slides printed on it. That's the vision that I had from my previous company. Literally, it looked a little bit like the picture there on the left of David, spiral bound at the back, and we flip it. But it got expensive because to print it would cost, and bind it, was somewhere between $9 and $14 per copy. It's cumbersome. You have to have something to stick it in. Ladies, you're lucky. You got a handbag. Men, we don't. Or purse, rather. And we don't. So listening to one of the teams, both Julie and I went, oh, duh. And the words that really rang out there from that presentation is, if we keep the presentation the same, and anyone can actually pull this up on your hands and say, hey, have a look at this. And you can go through the slides, flick them. Whilst you're having a cup of coffee, whilst you're having lunch, whilst you're waiting for someone, maybe at the airport, you're sitting on a plane. You could be talking to an Uber driver, and while you're sitting at the traffic lights, you could literally pull this out and flip it while you're sitting at the traffic lights. The whole notion here is that we want to kind of race through it, because you get to the end and you go, this makes sense, doesn't it? Do you know anyone that you can think of sharing this with that are having issues? It's a maximum 5 to 10 minute job. It is maximum 5 to 10 minutes. And once they say, well, this sounds interesting, you can go on, give me your phone number and I'll text you an invite to the opportunity meeting that we have Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. Come on in, meet the greater team, and you will have a director, a senior director, or a presidential director, executive director, or whatever, doing the flipbook presentation, but in a Zoom meeting. And this deck, as it stands at the moment, will not change. We will use the same and the same and the same and the same. And as people come into the opportunity meetings, they learn a few lines, but the caveat here is we have to restrain ourselves to keep it to 5 to 10, because it's such an easy task to start waffling, and most people go, this is too hard, I can't do this. But when they see you sitting there for 5 or 10 minutes, and they go, okay, what do we all have in common? Oh, stem cells. Look at this. Which ones of these features do you want? What about a little bit about the company? The fact that it's patented, how to wear it. It is an incredibly powerful tool when you have 50, 100, or 1,000 foot soldiers out there flipping the plan, flipping the opportunity every single day. And it doesn't matter whether you have 100 people and 20 of them show them on Monday, another 20 show them on Tuesday, Thursday, maybe 40 people are showing it. This is the power. We compress it. And this is one of the major reasons why Steve Merritt and his team had grown to 40,000 people in a year. They just have a lot of foot soldiers.
So I know you probably have questions, and we want to open it up for that. We'll talk about delivery of this. Most of you know the presentation, you really do. But we made the slides with a few extra keywords, so all you'd have to do is read it, you guys. All you have to do. And if they have a question you can't answer, you go, that's great question. Hey, can you join me Monday or Tuesday evening at 8 Eastern? Let's go through. You're going to hear a whole lot more people's stories. You're going to really see the power of this. Your outcome is you want to invite them to the next meeting. If you were with us last week with the training on follow-up with Eric Worre, he said, actually, your goal isn't signing people up. Your goal is to get them to the next meeting, the next event, the next thing you're doing. So you're flipping through, hey, take a minute, let's look at this. But I don't have time right now to go way into it. So can you join me Monday or Tuesday night? Oh, well, I gotta check. I'm with my wife. Great. All right. Well, then let me send you a video. Will you watch this presentation video? You guys go on the YouTube channel. We have the recordings. Oh, well, can I have you perhaps Thursday afternoon? Do you have time? Yes. Okay. So you're going to watch it at 2 o'clock. Great. How about I give you a call at 2:45? Whatever it is, this is just your, do you want to take a look at this kind of book? So questions. Go ahead and unmute.
Well, I just want to say, after our meeting on Wednesday, I had a lot of interested people on my hands, like boom. So I knew this was coming. So I said to them after Saturday, I'm going to have a link for you. And they're going to, you can put it on your phone. I've already had people text me saying, where's that link? Because they want to get out and start sharing it. And they only saw it on Wednesday.
So it'll be a PDF. You can put it on your iPad. You can put it on your phone. I'm getting a quote for some being printed and bound. If that interests you, I'll put it out to everybody. We can see, because sometimes, I don't have, like, I know Rosemary doesn't have her iPad with her all the time, right? So you're right, Knut. We've got handbags, so we can pull it out. But however it takes,
Fun.
that you've just got a tool and it's real quick. Let me just show you a couple things. Are you interested? Questions? Hey, Marcia, glad you're here. Good job. Okay.
Is it the 16 slides that you just showed?
Yep.
That is, okay.
Yeah. And everybody can walk through it. You all have experience with the product. You've been on so many presentations, and it isn't trying to be the end all be all. Well, this helped me with my macular degeneration. Great question. Why don't you join us Monday night? Whatever the response is, great question. Now, when can we get you scheduled to take a look? Yeah. Comments, questions?
So are you guys still recommending sending people to startx39now.com?
Yes,
Yep.
ma'am. Absolutely.
Absolutely.
Part of the system. This is all part. Just follow the system. This is just something to get you in the door. I think really effectively and quickly.
Yeah.
I like it.
Yeah. Sharon's saying perfect for our pop-up. Sharon, describe what you've been doing with pop-ups, if you would, please.
Sure, it's about being spontaneous, we use it a lot for networking. Or what I'll do is I'll say I'm going to be at Starbucks from 9 until 11 o'clock on Tuesday at Preston Road. Come see me, and I'll share about you. What are stem cells? What do they got to do with our health? And I'll post it on Facebook. I did this a lot with Medicare, and now I'm starting to do this with the LifeWave. So this is great. This gives us a chance to be casual and talk about it and get them to the next step. Thank you, guys. I'm excited.
Oh, good.
Good stuff.
Can I just ask Sharon, do you just rock up to Starbucks, or do you call them and ask them, or you just set up out front, or?
Say that again.
Yeah, sorry, that's my Australian. Did you rock up to Starbucks? Do you contact Starbucks and ask them, or do you just stand out the front?
Oh, no, I post up at a table, and I have a little sign, little plexiglass thing, or I'll have my cards out, but no, you don't have to get that specific. Now, if you're going to post up at a real restaurant, or you might have to get permission, or if they have a room, but no, because that's what, especially coffee shops, they don't mind that, because you're bringing in customers to them. You're posting, you're signing in on the coffee shop's Facebook page as well. So,
Thanks for that.
Thank you,
Yeah,
Sharon.
I was going to say something, Janet. I am working on and I apologize. And thank you, Dr. Velvet, for adding me on to some of those other sites. But I've been away for a while because, out of town, then I had grandkids in. And anyway, I'm starting to get back in with this. But one of the things I'm working on right now, I have a friend of mine that I meet through, I go to a couple of different network marketing groups here in the St. Louis area. And one of my friends that I joined, she has her own workout place at a mall. It's bungee workout. It's the coolest thing ever. But anyway, she's got a huge room and it's set up. I mean, I looked around, but oh my God, I'm working with her to set up on an evening when we have these 7 o'clock things to have advertise, information to come in and have the TV set up where we can link into the Zoom and watch the presentation with a group of people there.
Awesome, Marcia.
I'm also partnering. There's another guy from our group that sells ice cream. So I'm working with him that, to offer, come and get free ice cream and watch these presentation and stuff. But I got to tell you, I joined the Thursday night one this week. It's a good thing I didn't have that with, a group of people. I don't know where this was at. I couldn't hear. and it was a presentation, a live presentation somebody did. Was anybody else on the third?
Ah, they
Okay,
did
so-
that. Yeah, they did that. They did a different one this week. Yeah, they had
Who
Steve.
was
okay.
that? Steve and Gina's?
No,
Julie?
it was the Hernandez guy, but he was just standing up talking.
Okay.
Yeah, and the audio, I mean, I couldn't hear it. And it's a good thing I just did it. I would have been embarrassed had I had that with my group of people. You know, that just wasn't for the
Well,
group.
you probably need to. I mean, I'm not your upline. Maybe just
Yeah.
check with your upline if you're going to have a heap of people, and give us a bit of a heads up on it.
Yeah. But I
Because
get
that
it.
one's difficult, the Thursday with the Spanish, because we really haven't had. We've had like 1 or 2 people, so we don't, you know.
Yeah.
But
But
anyway,
let's
that'd be
also
great.
say, if I can interject here, Marcia, we'd like you to start presenting at those groups. We're happy to keep anybody of you who wants to get up. We've worked with our slides very deeply. We know what they do. You've been on them. They're self-explanatory.
Mhm.
The flip book gets them in the door. We'd love you to present with.
I
it.
would love to, if I could get those slides that you use. I've asked for those before. If I could get those, I got a couple connections there that I can set up and I present at other meetings, and I've kind of worked my own deal, but I'd like to have what we do so that it's all consistent.
We've got it in
Perfect.
Spanish.
This is a
We've
good
got, we've
point
got
that
the
this is-
present-
Sorry, Julie.
got the presentation in Spanish. The PowerPoint. We have the PowerPoint in Spanish.
Yeah.
I don't have a group of Spanish people yet to do that with. I would
Oh.
prefer the one we normally do with our group, the English.
Okay,
We
so
did, we did.
so
Sorry.
remember the PDF that you will get access to at the end of this meeting.
Mhm.
You can put on your handset. You can put it on your laptop. You can put it on your tablet.
Mhm.
You don't need PowerPoint. You don't need anything. It's a simple PDF file.
Well, but if I'm not doing, I want to put it on a big
Yeah,
screen.
Marcia, let's take that off. I'll
Okay.
help you.
All right, we'll do.
We might even run a presentation training on how to set things up.
Yeah.
That's all perfect. It is actually very, very easy to do.
Okay.
Right.
Very easy to do.
Great. In terms of overarching, I still have not ever been able to solve in all these years one place where we put all our documents.
Yeah.
And what I keep doing, we'll post it on Telegram, we'll send it in emails. I think every time you have a brand partner come on board, one of the things you're onboarding them with is this PDF, right? Because we talk about, well, who else would in your family needs this, right? You're sitting with them. You're going to see in the slides, there's a place, and we'll go through it, where you're now talking and, who else? Oh, my cousin really needs this, right? Oh, we're going to share it with her. But come on, let's get you on this tomorrow night Monday night at 8 o'clock Eastern. Let's get you on and doing this.
Everybody, it's in the chat.
There you go. Thank you, Knut. Copy that. You guys can take a look.
You can download it straight to your handset, to your PC, to your tablet. That link stays, just as we have activated stemcells.com/what to expect.
Great, Knut, thank you. You can download that now. And if you have questions about what do I say here, give us a ring on Telegram. We can set up a call. We can talk through it. But you don't have to be perfect. You don't have to be the perfect presenter. Let the pictures, let the slides. You're just gauging interest.
Read off the slides.
Yeah.
You don't want to give them TMI, as they say. It's just a touch.
Yeah, not too much information, right? And that's the hardest part. You're all bright people and you've used the patches and there's so much we can tell everybody. And this is like, you really time yourself. Well, I'm kind of in a hurry, but have you seen this? Let me show you this thing. So let me jump back in here again. And I use being in a hurry as a strategy, because you don't want them to feel like, oh my God, now she's going to go into a half an hour. Oh my gosh. You're just like, hey, I've just got about 5 or 10 minutes. Let me quickly show you this. And where they're going to stop is on slide 9. That's what's going to catch them, right? And oh, by the way, in our second part, we have a way for you to pay for your patches if that's of interest, and we work as a team. We have this, do talk about our team. We have an amazing team, you guys. and we'd like you to get to know them. But right now, let's get you, if you're interested, write down on the QR codes. Canute put in there a QR code straight to startx39now.com. So Cam A, it's right down there. Okay, so you'll be able to go, hey, scan this with your phone. Boom, there's StartX39. That way. All right, so again, you're coming back to the presentations. What's your next event? Oh, well, we're leaving for a vacation. Great. I'm going to text you a link to a video that they can take that on the vacation. Always think of what's your next exposure. Okay. What we talked about it in the other trainings. Oh, well, hold on a minute. I really would like you to hear my friend Marcia's story. Let me get her on the phone. You're doing a three-way call. You're just using those follow-ups all the time, you guys. All right, so let's come back now. In network marketing, the whole point is not to sell a product, to build a network, an army of people who are all representing that same product or service to share with others. That's the leverage, right? We have fun on the way. Hopefully you're going to vacation with us. We'll win the program. You'll be in Orlando with us. But the point is, you're looking for smart people. You're looking for interested people. You're looking for perhaps those first 5. And are they willing to start sharing it on their iPhone or whatever? So that you're building that depth. You're building that duplication. Oh, great, Sally. Glad you're excited. Glad we're going to share it with your cousin. Now, if this is something you'd like to do, yeah, this is really great. Great. On Wednesday nights, we have our 331 training. It's 4 weeks. You're going to learn these simple systems. Come join us Wednesday night. You're bringing them back to the next event so they can be trained, right? It's all working in. And then pretty soon you go, oh, I've got her on board. Now that second step is follow-up. Okay, now she's going to get her patches. Did she download this little app? Should we walk through it? When she's got her list, you're just following 331 the whole time that way. Questions, comments? Okay.
I have one comment.
Yes.
It's roughly, when you think about it, when we're exposing this business, it roughly takes about 5 times for people to kind of go, oh, oh, okay, I get it now. Like the first time is always like, So I really like this idea, how we're just stepping through. So by the time they actually sign on the dotted line, they've actually got some idea rather than before it was a little bit harder.
And then you're taking them through that follow-up. Great. We just signed up your person. I'll help you know where to place them, right? That's in our 331 system. Great. Oh, they have a cousin. When can we get the cousin on the phone? Here, you've got these little slides. Can you email them to your cousin? Maybe that's the way they need to see them. You're just all the time saying, what's our next step? What's our next step?
So if I am a network builder, if I'm a master network builder and I'm driving this business, apart from connecting with you, I am looking to deliberately connect through you.
Yeah.
In depth. That this is what the secret about depth is. So one thing is a daily action for yourself, the 331, to continue building your own personal team. What should be in the back of your mind as you go through these is, who do they know and who do they know of? This is network marketing 101, basic skills, but this is not natural.
Yeah.
This is not something that you're taught at school. So it takes deliberate action. It takes deliberate focus and connecting with someone. And as Julie said, to Julie's point, it's like, but number one, if you like them, typically you will like their friends. Number two, have you thought of someone you would share this with? Who would you share this with? Who in your family, in your circle of friends? At the tennis club, okay, there might be injuries. At the pickleball, there might be injuries. Have sore shoulders that it takes time to recover, pull back up. But this networking 101, session 5, in terms of building depth, is how can we equip our new brand partners as quickly as possible to go out and share the simple concept. Not understanding necessarily in infinite details of which patch to use where and how and when. This is X39. This is all about sharing the way we can help people repair and regenerate and rejuvenate, and at the same time helping them pay for their own patches. That's where it stops. That's our mission to start off with. If they want to have a bigger picture, yes, we do have a step 2. There is a step 3. But until we can get a handle on this, and someone once upon a time said to me, unless I can master the basic steps myself, anything else beyond of extra information, it just muddles the water. Let's just get good at sharing this at a one-on-one basis in the car, in the aircraft, in the restaurant, in a coffee shop, at lunch, at work, or wherever we are. It is literally, let me 5 minutes. And you can turn around to anyone afterwards and say, that was simple, wasn't it? Do you think you could do that? And I go, yeah.
To your point, Knut, here I was flying this week. If I had just been able to open my phone to the woman I was talking next to, my seatmate, there it would have been, right there.
Yep.
It's been so perfect. I'm going to tie in last week's training on follow-up where Eric Worre gave us this clock metaphor. I really encourage you to go back, if you weren't with us, to watch number 4, because in this downline mix of people, he really points out where they're at in this sort of know nothing all the way ready to sign up. He uses a clock analogy. And with this, now this presentation on your phone or in a little book, it's going to quickly move them on that clock face from know nothing or don't care to, wow, this is interesting. And he really describes what's going on with people. This little tool is going to be able to move you far more quickly through people's interest to buying cycle that way. So as we wrap up, appreciate the time. Again, we remind you, you can have everything in life if you want, if you just help more people get what they want. Again, we just keep bringing it up, you guys. The company's entering momentum. It's an enormous place, an opportunity. When a company starts momentum, it can create us millionaires in a way that I don't want to say we didn't have to do anything, but it can really lift you. Gregory Muscari talked about when he was in momentum, and he opened his back office one day and there were 1,500 new people, right? So you want to be here. This is the time. This is the opportunity. It's worth doing this right now. So again, here's where the trainings are. This was the training I was just referencing with Eric. It's again at youtube.com, activate the stem cells, and get in there and watch it. Get your team to watch it. You know, everybody's busy in the summer, but oh, that's right. I really need to watch it. Let me put it on the calendar that way. And lastly, we're coming back around to convention. All right. We're going to start now talking. I'm going to call this August 1st. I know we have a couple more days. September 15th is the cutoff date when LifeWave is going to cut off ranking so that they have weeks to put like you see what Renata's holding here. I have one of these also, and it's engraved, Janet Kiefer. They're going to be putting all the awards together. So even though the conference, you're not going to arrive there till October 12th, September 15th is the cutoff date. Yes, we still want you sharing the program all the way up to the convention. But if you're trying to rank up and walk stage, you need to look. We have roughly about 6 weeks, okay? Also, it's still time to get people to enrolled and registered for the convention. I just talked to 3 couples in the last 2 days who hadn't thought about it at all. Hey, what are you doing mid-October? Why? Well, I'd like you to really consider coming. Do you like Orlando? Yeah, we love Orlando. Well, wonder if we could have you come to LifeWave Convention. You could stay a few days, see the parks, have a mini vacation. You know, the summer crowds are gone. The holiday crowds haven't come. And all 3 of these couples went, oh, that's a really good idea. Okay. So it's time now to focus on getting your people there. Even if there's like, oh, I can't do it, just keep going, you know? You really shouldn't miss that. So go ahead, Knut.
1 second, 1 second. Janet said something there about what are you guys doing in the middle of October? Let's be specific. Hey guys, could you pull out your calendar, please? Just
Yep.
have a quick look. What are you guys doing October 12, 14? And they got nothing. Fantastic. Now you can't object.
Yeah, good point. Yeah, that you really need, and again, you gotta romance the stone. This is really worthwhile. We're gonna have 100 or a couple hundred of our own team. You're gonna know a bunch of people. Most people don't want to go because they think they're all alone. No, this is a team. We're a big network. You're gonna have people there. You're gonna have fun. You're gonna have dinners with people. We get to dress up. Start talking about of what's in it for them. Okay, so questions, thoughts? Appreciate your time.
I'm going to stop the recording and then we can take